everyone, welcome to the Bible Belt Bros. That's the haunt. Hey everyone, welcome to the Bible Belt Bros podcast.
I was going to say, Dusty, you're getting better, and then you did this weird twang thing at the end. I was going,
I'm trying some things out.
I mean, the last 4 weeks now, you've been trying things out. It's not working. Go back to the original.
Nope.
You're going to find
Back in my day, it used to be just welcome to the Bible Belt Bros. You didn't have to say all those crazy things.
Exactly. Anyways, Dusty, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Doing fantastic.
Good.
Making websites, making videos. Fun.
I hope they're good videos.
I don't know. So today, actually, at the office, we have every workstation in our office. We have like webcams and stuff so that we can
Spy on each other?
So we can create content because we do have like a digital marketing online school that we're kind of creating as we're working. So like basically if we're working on something and we don't have a how-to video of how to do it themselves, we need to record the how-to video while we're doing it. We've had quite a few interns from Oral Roberts University that have a marketing degree. Then they show up and they know theories.
Right.
But they have no
application. They haven't actually practiced it.
And so what we're trying to do is at ORU, they're having us come and teach periodically, as well as we're giving each student this course that they can learn the practicality of it as they leave college. So it's kind of a cool thing, especially for a guy who didn't go to college, to be teaching kids who paid 20 to 30 grand for a degree, and then they still have to learn from the guy who doesn't have a degree,
right,
to do it. So it's pretty funny. And the professor, she was like, "Dusty, can you talk, but just don't tell them they're wasting their money." And I was
don't tell them you don't have a degree.
I won't tell them, but I think they better off just interning somewhere at 20 grand, of expenses instead of learning from you, which then, yeah. Anyway, so it's kind of funny. So I'm making a lot of videos for that. But today I realized there's like levels of production quality when it comes to a YouTuber or a streamer. And like most people, they start out, there's a $50 webcam that you can buy, right, and it gets you through. And then there's this one here, Andrew, from work that I brought here, which is $200. So you just get much better color quality. There's I don't know how to explain it.
I noticed it's next to like your $20 one. Yeah,
I actually did a side by side, just trying to see the difference. That's why I brought it here. And I was doing some
streaming.
I plan my streaming around when I'm going to bring the equipment home. So I was doing side by side, and this is $200. And this basically you get more color profile options. So instead of just red, blue, green, white, which is that kind of, you get red, RGB. Shade of red 1, shade of red 2, those kind of things. So you're just getting more color difference. So you're getting a better picture quality. But we also have at work Sony A7 IIIs, which is about a $2,000 body, and then we have another $2,000 lens on top of that. And that would be like the next step up from like a $200 thing, is to go ahead and get a full-on Sony digital camera that can do video, 4K video. And so typically, most of those kind of DSLR cameras, you have to buy like this adapter, and it's a few $100s to get it all hooked up correctly, and then you got to have a computer that's worth like being able to receive that much information at once and pushing it out. And so today I was just like joking with my boss, and I was just like, I'm just going to go see what it is, because my boss is one of those guys. He's like, let's just buy the best thing. Don't level up. Let's just buy the best thing.
That's how I live, dude. If you're going to do it right.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like looking around, and apparently since this time lately, they've actually have a driver now for this specific camera that you can download the driver, and now it's able to process this computer feed, or this video feed, basically process it to be read by a computer. So you can basically use this $4,000 setup for your webcam, which is the goal. You don't have any extra adapters, any other things you have to install inside your computer. And so today, after spending money having $200 webcams on everybody's desk, I realized, crap, we already had this stuff for free. I just had to plug it in, and now we have this $4,000 camera as our main streaming camera. So it's not my money, so I guess it's okay. My dog's got a squeaky toy. It's I'm gonna have to break her heart. Hey, Darcy, you're such a okay. Give it. In a little bit, you can play with it, okay? So
that's gonna be an odd edit right there, Dustin.
I think you just leave it in, maybe. So that's today. That was my day today. Was going. Hey, you remember how I had you
buy all
this camera equipment? Now it still makes more sense because we also do like looms with our clients now, which is like a Zoom, but it's a one-way Zoom, and so we can record a video, send them a link instead of having to send them a video file, and they can stream it.
Google does that.
Oh, nice.
There's just a button on a Google Chrome.
Yeah, you can just hit record and then send them basically a screen share.
Yeah.
And so we're all still needing cameras
for that.
We're not going to set up Sony cameras every time we want to do like a 30-second, hey, just so you know, I changed this for you. If you have any questions, let me know. You know, those kind of things. Or just so you know, you spent $1,000 in ads this month. Here's where your money went. Let me know if you need any questions. That's usually my conversations.
There's also an app on the phone that you can use that I think has a computer app for it as well. But nice. I get you.
But it's screen shares. Like I'm pulling up their Google Ads account and going through keywords.
Yeah. Okay.
And so, so it's still like not a waste of money. It's not like I bought
not a complete waste.
Yeah, it's not a complete waste of money, but we probably didn't need as many cameras as we have.
Good thing your boss doesn't listen to this podcast.
I know. Yeah, well, I already joked with them. I was like, "Hey, you're gonna hate me. I figured out how to do this for free." so he was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like,
Good job.
I just like showed him. I was like, "He's like, it looks like 1,000,000 times better." Like that's all he cared about was how much.
Hey,
better
at least you found a better way. So that kind of.
So basically, he said, "So all this gaming and nerding out and streaming and stuff is actually paying off." For me, because he's getting all the good equipment.
Yeah, he's going to benefit. Yep.
And maybe it'll pay off for me because then I'll just like got to test it, got to bring it home, got to make sure it works properly.
Well, now you know you don't need this one at work. You can be like,
now I just have this one at home.
I'm working from home.
Yeah. I'm just going to work from home. I want to do a pretty good quality video here.
Yeah, I'm just going to leave this one at the house. You know, if we ever need it, I'll bring it in.
Yeah.
But
so
really, whenever you need it, just go borrow one of somebody else's.
Yeah. So that was my day today. Was finding out that he might have spent
a lot of money,
$1,000 more than he needed to. That's no big deal.
It's only $1,000.
No big deal.
He's made money. It's all good.
Yeah, it's the resale value is there if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Fisher, you came in with a topic today.
Yeah, I decided you did last week's topic. I do this week's topic.
Okay, so this one's going to be about you, Barry.
Yep. I mean, last week was all about you. Actually, I don't even remember what
this
last
podcast is all about me.
Oh yeah, last week was your youth pastor thing, or don't send you youth pastor.
I'm still retired, by the way.
Are you?
Anybody's at? Yeah, I'm still retired.
Okay, that's good. Good.
I'm pulling an Andrew Luck. I'm just staying retired, unless there's money.
Speaking of Andrew Luck,
oh gosh,
you brought it up, dude. There's a dude who bought $50,000 worth of Andrew Luck cards as an investment. And then Andrew Luck retired.
Oh, he brought it
before.
I mean, that's a good investment at the time.
At the time, yeah. And
just
then,
like a lot like Doge. Buying Doge at 40 cents looked good at the time.
I mean, it's still great at... Oh, shoot.
It's like 20 cents now.
I'm still positive on Doge, dude. Even with me buying it at 46 cents, I'm still positive.
Really?
Yeah.
What's it at now? At this exact moment, I guess.
This exact moment? Hold on one second. It is at... I'm pulling it up right now.
Look it up. Doge is at 24 cents.
There we go. So I bought a bunch of Doge when it was at like 4 cents and 6 cents.
Oh, that's smart investing.
Yeah.
And that's buying Andrew Luck card before he retires.
Right?
Investing.
So I'm still positive. I'm just not as positive as I was when it was at, up there.
There were reports that technically the value could still go up because, one, there were reports people thought he might be coming back this year because Wentz got hurt. And
Luck. I thought you were talking about Doge.
Oh, Luck. No, Doge. Doge is gone.
Gotcha, Luck. No, he posted, a couple weeks ago or something that he's not coming back.
Well, you say that now.
I don't say that. He said that.
Well, but, I think from what I've heard, he's a very content person. And so I can't remember what he's doing now, but I think the reports came out because he like showed up at some high school and was just like throwing the ball around with them and stuff. People were like, oh my gosh.
He's coming.
He's coming back. He's getting that love for the game again. Yeah. He's falling in love with the game again.
And really, he's just interviewing for a high school job.
Probably. Like, he's probably interviewing for a coaching job. You know, my biggest fear, right? Is that Tom Brady, who has dominated my Packers, who has dominated just my NFL fan life for years.
Yeah, because he is the second GOAT.
Will finally retire, and I will be so happy. And then Tampa Bay hires him as their NFL head coach, and he continues to be just as good of a coach as a player because of his smarts. Because the reason he's a good player isn't his athleticism as much as it is as how smart he is. You know.
Yeah.
So I know it's a you know. Players don't become great coaches usually, but sometimes they can. But like Deion Sanders, no, you can't.
He is a great offensive coach.
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
He could be a
defensive.
coordinator, but I'm just going to say he's not going to retire and leave like I want him to. He's going to retire and still be there and be an annoying. He's like that bug, that fly that just never leaves, and you're just like, Brady, can you give Rodgers 1 year, please? Just 1 year without you, without any of your
it's not happening, dude.
Stupid friends, and just leave.
It's not it. And really, it's literally just Brady and Gronk. That's it. That combo is deadly. I mean, it won Tampa Bay a freaking Super Bowl.
Yeah,
two people, man.
He's one of those guys you can't. It's like he's hard to hate.
Yeah, dude is a GOAT, not the GOAT.
Who's the GOAT to you?
Joe Montana.
That's a debate that maybe for a different day. Like the GOAT's always going to be Michael Jordan, right?
Right, 100%.
But you can't physically side by side compare them. So as an older person,
because the leagues changed.
The leagues changed, and they didn't really play together in their primes. You know, so like as an older person, it's always going to be Michael Jordan. But as the younger kids who don't even remember 9/11,
it's always going to be their guy.
One of the kids that I played with in that youth band that I was talking about last week was he was like, I was like, yeah, I moved here in 2003, and he goes, I wasn't even born yet. I was like, leave.
That's crazy. You moved here in 3. I moved here in 5.
Yeah, it was a couple years after me. So.
I thought it was 6. It was actually 5.
At some point, the younger generation is going to be our generation and age, and they're not even going to remember. It's like when people talk about Wilt Chamberlain being the GOAT.
He is.
I don't know. I never saw his game. I never seen the highlights.
Technically, it's Bill Russell if you're going rings.
Yeah, well then I even know less. You know, that's what I'm saying. Like it's just at some point the GOAT's going to change just based on people's personal experience.
I'm still going to say Jordan. And yeah, I guess Jordan would.
In my lifetime, I mean, Jordan was the Tom Brady of
100%.
Like he would anytime Jordan was playing, you were like, well, crap.
Yeah, but yeah, Bill Russell has more rings than anyone, and so it wasn't the team Bill Russell was on. It was obviously Bill Russell.
Was there as many teams in that time? So
the
competition
is and
as
fouls
many games
were called different.
Yeah,
it was a lot. It was truly different, which is why when you put all that aspect into it, Jordan is still better because
that's why I loved the Olympics basketball stuff.
Yes,
is because they were not calling those ticky-tack fouls.
Yes.
In the U.S., the reason they lost that first game was
because they're jumping into
because they're trying to jump into people, and then they're going, "Where's the call?" And they're like, "That's only a foul in the NBA because you guys lobby for fouls."
Yes, because you guys like to lift up LeBron James and cry about everything.
Yeah. So
anyway,
right,
I'm getting off that. Because my blood pressure's going to increase, and I just can't do that right now.
Not right now.
So let's go into our topic for the day.
All right.
I called us all here today, Dusty.
Yep. You have the floor, sir.
I'm not going to break into song this week.
Praise the Lord.
We're going to talk about what you think is in the Bible, but it's actually not.
Okay.
kind of just things that you've heard, or especially you've been in the ministry much longer than I have.
Oh, gosh.
What have you always been told? And I'll tell you, obviously, things I've been told that everyone thinks is in the Bible, but it's not.
Okay. Do you have a list of things? Maybe you can ask some, like, phrase the question in a way, and then I have to guess.
Okay. Well, I mean,
like, have you heard this? I mean, you're gonna have to come up with the real ones too. Then.
Yeah. I get you.
That would be hard.
I get you. Have you heard that there were 3 wise men?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
3 wise men followed Jesus. Yeah. But I know it's not. There was like 300 or something like that, right?
Yes.
There was 3 gifts.
There were 3 gifts. Yes. I'm actually trying to bring up. There we go. Yes, there are 3 gifts. It doesn't say that there were 3 wise men.
Right.
It just says 3 gifts were presented, and it actually says the wise men. The wise men went to.
It's just harder to do a Christmas play if you're having to get 300 wise men to show up on stage at once.
I mean, I don't.
It's hard enough to get
disagree.
300 people to show up in church in general. You know.
Yep. What about this? Have you ever heard that Jonah was swallowed by a whale?
Yes.
Yep. So, does the Bible specifically say it was a whale?
Well, it was. Does it say it's a fish?
It says it's a great fish.
A great fish. And so I think theoretically it has to be like a whale because of the possibility, like that is actually possible to be swallowed by a whale.
Have you ever heard of a grouper fish?
Is that the one that eats like algae stuff?
I mean, it eats dead things usually.
Okay, no.
But it can swallow.
I watched Shark Week, not Whale Week.
Well, okay, this goes along with Shark Week. A grouper can swallow a shark whole.
Oh, that's scary.
So a grouper, I believe, if I'm right, the grouper lives at like the furthest depths of the ocean.
Okay,
and it actually, because it's pitch black down there, it has like this light on its it's like this.
Like
antenna.
on Finding Nemo.
I don't know. I didn't.
On Finding Nemo, there's that they go all the way down, and then there's like this fish with the light in front of it.
Yes. Okay, so that would be a grouper.
Okay.
And they are these massive, ugly things.
Yeah. This one was pretty ugly, but it wasn't like a whale size.
So what about this? Have you ever heard the saying, money is the root of all evil?
Yes. And I know where you're going with this, because it's the love of money.
Yes.
Right.
And all kinds of evil.
Oh.
So it's not just all evil.
So that's not just saying every evil thing is the love of money. But the love of money can be the root of a lot of things.
Yes, a lot of evil things.
Interesting. That one that had a twist. I didn't know that one.
Yep. So there's also I don't speak Hebrew. Do you?
Shamalan. No.
Were you going to say Shamalanka Ding Dong or whatever?
Shamalanka Ding Dong.
I knew it. So I was actually, and this isn't on a list or anything, but I was watching TikTok earlier.
Oh, okay.
And for some reason, I get this Jewish guy who knows Hebrew because...
Why does he have to be Jewish?
Because that's what he is.
Okay.
He said he was Jewish. But they use the Torah.
Yes.
And so that's one of the reasons he knows Hebrew.
Is that the first 13 books of the Old Testament?
Yes, I believe so. So according to him, and in the Torah, the very first word, the first sentence in
the beginning?
Yeah, in the beginning.
Okay.
Well, in the Torah, the very first word, and I can't say the word because I don't speak Hebrew and I don't know how to pronunciate it, but the translation for that word is in a beginning.
Na beginning.
Not in the beginning, but in a beginning.
So not the only beginning.
Exactly.
Time.
So how many beginnings were there, according to the Torah?
On Earth, there's in the beginning, then there's the Noah beginning, and then there's the new beginning with Jesus, right? So
yes.
3?
But yeah. Okay, so I see what you're doing there. But even the Noah beginning would still be but all 3 of those still respond to or correlate to beginning.
Yeah.
Because Noah would still be our linkage to Adam and Eve.
And that maybe could also translate to, when Cain killed Abel, right? Cain was banished and went and married. But, there was other people on earth at the same time. Where those people come from? That kind of
Right. All right, let's go with this. What about Mike Ditka's quote?
Mike Ditka's in the Bible?
Mike Ditka's quote when he was fired from the Chicago Bears.
Okay, which is?
This too shall pass.
Oh, that's not in the Bible?
No. So this actually comes...
Where do they say that's in the Bible at?
Well, he got it confused with the phrase, it came to pass, which is in the Bible over 400 times.
Okay. Minor difference.
That's right. But, if you're quoting Scripture, you should quote it correctly, not form it to how you want it to say.
The truth behind it, if it came to pass means, and then all of a sudden, or
it passed.
It's like when you're telling a story, and so anyways,
Right,
then you go to the next step, where this too shall pass means more, that has way more depth to it, as far as any trial you go through, this too shall pass. Whew, Jesus, but if you're any trial you go through, it came to pass. That just has a different ring to it.
Right. But at the same time, we still shouldn't bend the Bible to what we want it to say.
A quick story. I'll interrupt you here.
Oh, nice. Good.
One time, your mom and I.
What? What?
The way I said that was weird. I think you were even there. So your mom and I, we were having some debate or argument, and
okay, now it's acceptable because you said I was there, and I'm like, wait, what?
What? We were having some debate or argument, and I was completely wrong in this situation. I can't remember what it was about.
I think I know where you're going.
But I said, well, in Zechariah 9:12, it says this. And your mom was like, oh, it does? And I was like, Janet, I can't lie. There's no Zechariah in the Bible.
But maybe she thought you said Zechariah.
Maybe. I don't. What? Maybe she thought I said what?
Zechariah.
That's not in the Bible either.
You don't know this.
There's not a Zechariah. Anyway,
you don't know me.
I felt bad immediately when she actually took that lie, because it was a complete joke, and she was right about whatever she was arguing about. But yeah, anyway, so it's another thing. If you get in an argument, just quote a book of the Bible that's not in the Bible. The pastor joke would be, well, in 1 Opinions chapter 2. But you could just name a biblical character. In Noah chapter 3, it says this. People might not realize that there's not a book called Noah that's in the Bible.
I always use second opinion.
Yeah, second opinion.
Okay, Dusty. I want you to do something for me. Okay. Because I had to have proof before I did this.
Okay.
I want you to pull out your phone real quick. I want you to remember what you just said.
What did I just say?
It's going to come up in just a second, what you said. So go to your
I've already forgotten.
Go to your Bible app. I know you have the Bible app on your phone.
Okay.
All right. Go to the books of the Bible.
Yes.
Okay. And you're at the beginning, right? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers.
Deuteronomy, Joshua.
Right. Okay. So slowly scroll down. Well, okay. So it should be Genesis, 1 Kings down at the bottom, right?
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead and scroll to Proverbs real quick.
Okay.
Go slow. I want this to...
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Now, go ahead and go to Joel.
Okay.
Okay, now go to Habakkuk.
Habakkuk?
Yep.
Okay, I'm there.
Now, I want you to read the next one.
Zephaniah.
What's the next one?
Haggai.
What's the next one?
Oh, there's a Zechariah.
What?
What the heck?
Who said what?
There's a Zechariah in here? Zechariah 1. Wait. In the 8th month of the 2nd year of Darius, the word of the Lord came to the prophet Zechariah, son of Berechiah, and son of Iddo.
Did you say America?
America.
America. Sound like America.
America. Well, why doesn't any pastors preach out of the word of Zechariah? I did not know that there was a Zechariah. Janet, I apologize. This whole time I thought I made that up. Apparently I was just smart.
Mom, I got your back.
Now I got to remember what we were fighting about to see if it was in Zechariah.
Man, years and years have passed.
You drove me go to Genesis. Now go to Exodus.
Right.
Now go to Leviticus.
No, I didn't say
now jump down to Second Kings.
I wanted to make sure you were going slow, right?
Oh, okay.
And going one book at a time. Yeah. So when you saw Zechariah, you were like, what? I got the reaction.
No, I said Zechariah. This is Zechariah. I'm just saying.
But that's what I said. Maybe she thought you said Zechariah.
And I was like, you idiot. That's not even in the Bible either.
And she goes, oh.
I'm interested to read on what Zechariah says. A man measuring with a line. Okay. Clean garments for the high priest. All right. The gold lampstand and the 2 olive trees. That sounds like an interesting story.
That sounds like Exodus.
The flying scroll. Okay. 4 chariots. That sounds like something that'd be in a movie. Justice and mercy. Not fasting? Whoa.
Uh-oh.
That could be controversial.
I mean,
maybe that's why people don't read out Zechariah.
Maybe we'll have a podcast in the coming weeks on Zechariah.
We need to do a Zechariah podcast, chapter by chapter.
Okay.
Just like
we'll do
Church.
that. We can possibly do that. So back to what we were talking about, though.
Yeah, okay.
Have you ever heard that God works in mysterious ways?
Oh, he always does. Amen. Hallelujah.
Yep, but that's not in the Bible either. Matter of fact, it is a very true-ish statement, but Isaiah 55 does remind us that God's ways are different from our ways, but no biblical prophet ever uttered that God works in mysterious ways. About love the sinner, hate the sin.
Oh, yeah, that's got to be man-made, right?
100%. It's man-made. Now, this goes back to the biblical times, but it's not in the Bible. It's actually Augustine who wrote a line that says, with love for mankind and hatred for sins. So, yes, it goes back to the biblical times, but it was actually...
Oh, I just thought it was something pastors made up in the last 10 years, to be honest.
No, so it actually went back to the 5th century with Augustine. So, what have you heard that's not actually in the Bible?
Well, we can talk about tithing.
Okay, I mean, dude, if you want to go there again,
I don't want to go there.
We beat that horse dead.
I don't want to go there.
We can hit it again. Oh, here's one.
I don't know.
God will not give you more than you can handle.
Oh, yeah. Well, and then, then we just go to like Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That verse is always
misused.
Misused on no matter what you're doing, God will give you the power to accomplish it, whether or not it's his will or not. You know, that's kind of.
I use that to this day.
But really,
I may have said that.
The context is that through trials and hardships, through pain and suffering, like you can get through it. Like it's not that you're going to triumph over the team that you're playing or triumph over the job that you're trying to get. It's that when you don't triumph in those things, that God was still there and he can do all things through him.
Right. Yep.
So it's just funny. Like, yeah, that's the big sports one, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Tebow.
Another one. God helps those who help themselves.
I haven't heard that one.
What? How have you never heard God helps those?
That sounds like a Republican statement if I've ever heard one.
A Republican?
Like, just working for what you earn instead of getting government handouts. That's what I meant.
Well, I actually think... So I got this idea, one from TikTok, two, the idea for this topic, two from a post on Facebook, which is this exact title. And I actually think it was my dad who I saw a post on it. And it was, God will help those who help themselves. Although in Romans 5:8, it actually says the exact opposite, because it says we were unable to do them without Christ.
Right. Yeah, and when it comes to salvation, that is a misconception. Like, we can never do we can never do enough to earn salvation. And sometimes even after becoming a Christian, we feel like we still have to do enough, and we will never do enough. Like you can continue to serve God every day, but that's never going to be enough. And that's the whole point.
You're right.
Enough has been done from the Lord. We can do all things through Christ who strengthens us, Andrew. Sorry.
those are just a few things, Dusty, that I've heard over the years, and this list told me about, which reminded me that I've heard over the years.
And sometimes it's good because for somebody like me, I've basically since 9 years old been in church, and so there's a lot of things like that that I think I know that, and which kind of makes me not read my Bible as much as I should.
Yeah.
Because I've heard it all.
You've just never heard of Zechariah.
I just never. No, tell me a pastor, if you're a pastor and you've ever preached on Zechariah, let me know, because I do not think I've ever heard that anywhere. So
actually, if you were at house church a few weeks ago, you would have known there was a Zechariah.
Why is that?
Because
a few weeks ago I was.
No, you were
missed.
playing at the youth.
Again? Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
Fuck.
Literally, Zechariah came up in our
The
house.
book of Zechariah?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
It did. It actually came up.
That's why you knew.
It is, exactly.
Oh, my gosh.
So when you said there wasn't a Zechariah, I immediately pulled out my phone.
I said there wasn't a Zachariah.
It's true, but I said Zechariah, and you said, well, there's not that either.
Yes, true.
Which is when I pulled out my phone, and I had to find where it was, because I knew it was in the Old Testament. I just didn't know where in the Old Testament, and I had to do this dramatic reveal for you. And so I passed it the first time. I'll be honest, and I was like, oh, maybe he's right.
Listen, everybody remembers the first quarter of the New Testament books, but nobody cares about the middle section. Then
before halftime.
Then we pick it back up, at halftime in Matthew.
Halftime garbage time. Halftime garbage time.
Yeah, nobody cares about those garbage time points. That's why they threw Zechariah in there. Like, I don't even.
Have you ever heard of Malachi, though?
Some of those, I've heard of Malachi.
I mean,
that's the very end, right? That's like that 2-minute drive at the end of halftime.
Guess what's right before Malachi?
It was? Well, that's what I mean. That's before that 2-minute drive at the end of halftime. Like, you have a game, you're watching football, it starts off great, you're in there every moment. Then you're like getting some snackies, getting some drinks, you're going outside, maybe throwing stuff on the grill. You come back, there's like 2 minutes left till halftime, which is Malachi. You watch that final drive, you hit halftime, boom, Matthew comes out strong. Yeah.
And Revelation wins it all.
Yeah, and then you kind of don't like. You don't really care about the 3 Johns Jude,
Right.
But then you get to Revelations, and we're back in there because this is where boys become men right here.
Yeah.
In Revelations.
And kind of in the middle, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. It's just the same planes over and over.
There's those same, pre-planned plays that they come out.
Yeah, there's running plays. Nothing, no trickery.
Yeah, they're not doing anything crazy. Then you get to James and you start saying some weird things.
Yeah, I'm like, okay,
oh
now
my gosh, a
it's
flea flicker in the middle of the game right now? That's crazy, bro.
A flea flicker when they're tied?
Oh
man.
My goodness. Onside kicking after that? Oh, my goodness. So, yeah, nobody cares about those middle books as much. Maybe one or two, but... Zechariah is right there I was probably getting some snacks, getting some, going to the bathroom, get ready for that 2 minute into the halftime.
He was eating his oranges before halftime that his mom brought.
So, well, thanks, guys, for tuning in. This was a fun one. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Let me know if there's things that we didn't think of, or if you ever preached out of the book of Zechariah, because I would legitly like to know, because I would put some money that... there's going to be one idiot that did one time. But other than
Listen, you're not an idiot.
You're an idiot because you're listening to this podcast with 2 idiots in the Bible Belt talking about what is in or not in the Bible. And apparently I don't even know if it's in or in the Bible. So
I see why you retired from youth ministry.
Yep. I'm not teaching children anymore. Have a good one, guys.
Take it easy.